is factor down. So we have our first fraction, which is already factored. And now I'm going to factor this one down here. So in order to factor down that second fraction, we need two numbers that multiply to 8 and add to negative 6. So two numbers that multiply to give you a positive 8 and add to a negative 6. Give me a thumbs up when you think you know the numbers. I'm not going to call on you. I just want to see how many of you all can figure out the two numbers. They multiply to give you a positive 8 and they add to a negative 6. And I'll give you a hint that they both are negative. So it's two negative numbers. What do you think they are? They have to multiply to give you a positive 8 and add to a negative 6. Not negative 3, negative 6, because that wouldn't add to give you a negative 6. Two numbers, they add to give you negative 6, but multiply to give you a positive 8. Isaiah, what do you think they are?
Negative 2 and negative 4.
Negative 2 and negative 4. And then when we look at our denominator, it has a GCF of negative 2, so we can divide that out. So when you divide it by negative 2, that's the GCF, this becomes a positive x, and this one becomes a positive 10. So that a positive 5, sorry. Because negative 10 divided by negative 2 is positive 5. Okay, so now everything is factored down. We can cancel things out. And what's something we can cancel out? X minus 2, let's cross that out. Anything else? X plus 5, let's cross that out. Anything else? All right, so my final answer would be x minus 4 over negative 2. That would be it. All right, so go in your notes to page 12. We're going to continue practicing graphing. So that's why I wanted you all to pick up color pencils. You can either use a highlighter, you can use whatever you want. If you did not pick up some and you want some, they're here. I'll put that here if anybody needs some. All right, so let's go ahead and go to page 12 and let's start graphing. And I wrote it on the back of the board also, if you didn't see it. That's the transformation form. So remember, A is always upstairs. So what number is upstairs? A negative 3. Because it's negative, that means it's going to reflect. And the 3 is going to make it stretch. Now, H is always in the bottom, the denominator, but you flip the sign. So H would not be a positive 5. It would be a what? What would it be? Instead of positive 5, it's going to become what? Negative 5. Now that is going to control my vertical asymptote. So x equals negative 5. I'm going to go ahead and draw that in. So at the negative 5, pick up one of your color pencils, highlighters, draw in a vertical line at negative 5. And that negative 5 is going to move it to the left 5. What do you think K is? We don't see a number in the back, so. Nope, not 1. What number represents nothing? 0. So K is 0. So we have a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. So I'm going to draw that in too. So what we've just done is I've divided my graph into 4 areas. I'm going to go ahead and color code that. You don't have to do this, but we have this part, we have those 2 parts, and we have these 2 parts. Now where you see I have it marked in green, that's the positive part of the graph. If A was positive, I would use the green section. And where I have it boxed in red, that's my negative. So where am I going to graph? Am I going to graph in the positive or negative? And that's determined by A. So what does the A value tell me to do? Am I graphing in the red or in the green?
Red.
Who says red? Who says green? It's red. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to color in the red. Sorry, I'm going to color in the green so that I don't use it. So I'm not using this. So I'm going to color that in. Okay, so now because of the 3, put your pencil where they came together at. So right here, go ahead and put your pencil right here. So because of the 3, we're gonna go up and left. So let's start with up. So 1, 2, 3, take 1 step in. So everybody look here, where they cross. Because of the 3, go up 1, 2, 3, you take 1 step in. So you should have a point that's -6, +3. So you're gonna put a point at -6, +3. I'm gonna zoom in real close here. Then we're gonna go back to where they cross. This time we're gonna go left 3, take a step up. So here, put your pencil here, because it's 3, left 3, 1, 2, 3, take 1 step up. So again, from the cross, left 3, 1, 2, 3, take 1 step up. So that is at -8, +1, I think. I got it colored in, so I really can't see it, but. So now we have enough to graph it. So I'm gonna go ahead and zoom back out a little bit. And I'm just gonna draw my graph. It's gonna come through, it's gonna hit both of those points and go up. So you're gonna go left 3, 1, 2, 3, you take 1 hop up, only 1 hop up. So where my nail is, not that. All right, go ahead and curve it out. Then the next one, we're gonna do it again. We're gonna go where they cross, go right 3 and take 1 step down. So right 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 step down. Put a point right there. And then you go down 3, 1, 2, 3, take 1 step over. All right, now we're ready to connect it. And that would be your graph. Any questions about how we graphed that first example? All right, let's go to the next one. So notice that the negative is in front. I'm actually going to move that negative up, because if you see a negative, that negative is for A. So I'm going to erase that. I'm going to move it up. That negative is really moving up here. So that means that A is -1, which is going to make this graph reflect. Hajar, what do you think H is? +2. Good job. So that means we have a vertical asymptote at x equals 2, and it's going to go right 2. So pick up one of your colored pencils. Draw in a vertical line at +2. It could be a dashed line or a solid line. I usually just do them dashed though. All right, Sahara, what do you think K is? -1. So I'm going to put a -1 here, which means I'm going to draw in another line at y equals -1. So pick up your color pencil again and draw it going this way. And it's always plus, minus, plus, minus. So where am I graphing this time? Am I graphing in the green or in the red? Raise your hand if you say green. Who says red? Who doesn't know? All right, good. It is red because A is negative. So again, I'm going to just cross out, and this is optional, but I always like to do this just as a reminder that I'm not using these parts of the graph. Oh, I forgot to write down 1. So it goes down 1. Down 1. Because of that K, can you also write that you have a transformation? Because K is -1, it goes down 1. Let me write that down. I forgot to. Okay, so when it's 1, whenever A is 1 or -1, we only have 1 point to put down. And the reason why is because the 2 points overlap. So when I put my pencil here, if I hop up 1 and step in 1, or if I go to the right 1 and step in 1, it's at the same place. So you only have 1 point to put down. And that 1 point is at -1, 0. So let's go ahead and put down that 1 point. Let me zoom in again. And then you have another point. So let me finish that graph. So that's your 1 point. So let's go ahead and graph it out. So you're just going to come in, hit that 1 point, and then go straight up. Because of the asymptotes, it's like a wall that it can't go through. Then it's going to do the same thing in the other section that's negative. Here is going to go to the right 1, hop down. Or you can say it goes down 1, hops right. Either way, the same point, it's at 3, -2. There's only 1 point. So whenever A is 1 or -1, we only have 1 point to put down. And then we connect it, and then we connect it. And that would be your graph. All right, so this is day 2. I know this is different because we haven't had to graph anything where we didn't have a table to use. But I'm not asking if you could take a test today, but I just need to take the temperature of the room. Thumbs up, sideways, down. Do we understand the process? Okay, well, nobody is down, so that's good. So we're going to keep practicing. That's what I expect. We're going to practice some more tomorrow and some more the next day. So we'll get there. All right, so now is the time to go to that yellow sheet of paper. So take out that yellow paper, which is just extra practice because I don't feel like we put enough practice in the notes. So now we have a function that's already graphed, and we have to answer all the questions about the graph. So the first thing I want you to do is pick up your color pencils. I want you to trace the asymptote. So we have, you see these solid, they're kind of like dashed lines. Those are our asymptotes. So the vertical one, I guess I should have used two different colors. But the vertical one, yeah, actually I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make them different colors. My vertical one is the one I have in pink. Where does that go through the x-axis? It's at x equals what? -3. So you're gonna write h. That pink line determines h and the equation for our vertical asymptote. So that means that it's going to go, it goes left 3. All right, so Daniela, where is my other asymptote at? So we talked about the vertical one. Where's the horizontal one at? The green one. Y equals 4. Good. Oops, I did not mean to make that go sideways. Okay, so it's at 4. So y equals 4, which means it moved up 4. Okay, so now keeping in mind what we know, remember this is plus, this is minus, this is plus, this is minus. Where is the graph? Is the graph positive or negative? Who thinks the graph is positive? Who thinks A is positive? Who thinks A is negative? Who's not sure? All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to trace this. So this would be, okay, so remember positive, that would be here. And then the negative would be here. And let me trace the graph. I'm going to trace it in blue. So if I trace the graph, we got a graph here. And if I trace it so that it's kind of stands out a little bit more, we have it here. So where is it though? Is it the section that I have green or is it the section that I have red? So who says it's positive? Who says negative? Who's not sure? Oh, man, okay. So let me keep going then. So I'm going to color the whole thing, this whole section. If the red line, if the blue line is in the section that I have colored green, that means that it's positive. So if the blue line is in the section that I colored in green, that means that the graph is positive. Okay, so now is it clear that A is positive? A is positive. And if I zoom in really closely, you can see that there's only one point that's actually on the grid. This 1 point here and 1 point here, which tells me that A is 1. So A is 1. So now I'm ready to put it all together. So my equation would be y equals, make your fraction. Now A always goes in the top. So A goes in the top, and we said A was 1. And then it would be x over the opposite of h. So if I said h was -3, what am I going to put in the bottom? A +3. H always flips. It's sneaky. That's why we all get confused about it. And then we have our +4 back here. When you take your test, there's a question like this, which is why I wanted to make sure we had extra practice, because we didn't really give you examples in our notes that made you look at it this way. So that's why I wanted to go through and talk about it before the test. All right, one more. So same thing here. I'm going to highlight my asymptotes. So the yellow one is vertical. The blue one is horizontal. So Morgan, where did that yellow one go through the x-axis? At what point is it going through x? At 5, good. So that tells me that h is 5. Which means I have a vertical asymptote at x equals 5. And this graph moves to the right 5. All right, Diana, where is that blue line going through the y-axis? -3. So that means I have a horizontal one at y equals -3, which means it goes down 3. All right, so now I'm going to trace the graph in a different color because... So this is my graph. Let me trace it a little thicker. This is my graph. Now remember, when you graph something, it always goes plus, minus, plus, minus. So, looking at this graph, who says it's positive? Who thinks it's negative? It's negative. So, and the reason why is because this section of the graph would be positive. And you see how there is nothing there? There is nothing in that part of the graph where I colored it green. And this part is also positive. There's nothing there. Our graph is only in the negative. Now, something else you could do, because I can see that this is kind of like 50-50 on who can understand it this way, is if you connect these together, I don't know if you can see that that line I made, that bar I made, is going down. It's a step down, not a step up. So that's another way to identify that it's negative. All right, so now we're going to figure out what it is. Negative what? So we already know it's negative, which means that it reflected. So now let's see if it's stretched. So I'm going to erase the little purple highlight that I got there. All right, let me zoom in really closely so we can see what's going on here. So if you look at it, notice that it went up 2, hopped over 1. So where they came together, everybody look at the board. It went up 2, hopped over 1. So that's a point here. Okay. Sometimes it want to work, sometimes it don't. Okay. And then go back to the middle. It hopped to the left 2 and up 1. So what that tells me is that A is -2. A is -2. So this one reflect and stretched. So when we write our equation, y equals, make your fraction bar. Now A always goes upstairs. And because A is -2, I'm going to put that upstairs. H always goes downstairs, but we flip the sign. So I'm not going to put x plus 5. I'm going to put x minus 5. And then your K value goes in the back. So we're going to continue graphing again Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. We're going to keep graphing. That yellow paper is really close to what your skills check looks like, which is why I wanted you to have it. Homework 3 is due on Thursday. If you weren't here Friday, the handout is there. It's in the yellow Friday folder. You also have a skills check on Thursday. Now you can do the entire homework except for the last question. So you could do everything in that homework except for the last question, and you know I'm gonna offer extra credit. Everybody in here needs extra credit, especially class of 2025. So let's use this time to work on our homework so that if the opportunity arises for extra credit,